And welcome back to another round of ALR Tier 5 in the GT7 Championship for Season 8. This is Deep Forest Reverse. It is the penultimate round of the Championship, and we've still got five contenders for the Championship with the possibility of winning, all within 36 points of each other. So a good or a bad week for any of them in either this week or next week will probably spell the end of their Championship hopes. So let's find out where they qualified, and then we will kick on with the sprint race. So our championship leader, Mr. Berserk, is all the way down in 6th place in his Aston Martin DBR9. Black Widow is in 2nd place, 7 points behind him, and she managed to get a front row start. And then in 3rd place, we have Gin Tonics, who actually starts in 3rd as well. And in 4th place, we have Sheepy, who managed to bag his 3rd pole position of the season in the Jag. So he'll be hoping to claw back some of those 24 points he is behind Mr. Berserk as well. And Smithy is the last one. He's 36 points behind the lead, and he's in P4. So the only driver who's managed to trouble the championship contenders is Millsy, and he's down in 11th in the championship. So that's a great qualifying for him. Further back, we've got Reese in the 2nd Jag, Stewart in the AMG, D-Dubs in the Vantage, Parker making his 2nd appearance of the season, I think, in the Audi R8. And we've got SD in the M6, Quackhouse in the other Vantage, Cracker, or Crackervelli as he's called here. I think he's in the M6, JP near the back in the Supra, and Marvel rounding out the top 15. So let's get going and see how the sprint race pans out for these guys. Alright, the lights are out, and it looks like a great start for Sheepy, not so good for Black Widow, and it looks like everyone's kind of joined rank and file as we head into turn 1, which is just a little kink as we go up the hill before turn 2, and turn 3 is where all of the incidents happened in this round. It looks like Black Widow had a little bit of contact there with Sheepy, who goes incredibly wide, which meant that Black Widow takes the lead. Little Sheepy rejoins in 2nd and is probably going to have a great run on Black Widow. I wonder if she'll give the place back. T Smithy a great start in 3rd as well. As we see behind the top 4, there are a lot of cars all around each other, with Mr. Berserk in 5th place. Remember, he's leading the championship. He needs to do better than P5 where he is at the moment, but he's actually getting overtaken by Parker, who definitely goes wide, and Berserk just gets that place back really easily, with Reese, who started in the top 10, consolidating his P6, and JP getting a typically a very good start, as he always does. He's on the medium tyres though, whereas everyone else is on the soft, so he might struggle for pace as time goes on, as he lets D-Dubs pass incredibly easily there. But let's join the front. What is happening? We got Little Sheepy. Well, actually, it looks like Black Widow's just running away from Little Sheepy a little bit here, and Sheepy might be under a little bit of pressure from Jin just behind him, as we've got the podium sitters are all in with a good shot of the championship here, but none of them are leading the championship. The only person who looks like they had a bad start, well, actually, the top, never mind. I was going to say I couldn't see one of the top 5 in the championship, but they're actually all in the top 5, so really proving that these 5 are kind of a cut above the rest of the field in these cars this season. Looks like Sheepy's done a bit of a better job since the 2nd lap started. He's closed in the gap to Black Widow pretty well. He's definitely within a 2nd there. 32.2 is a great first sector time. You can't really get much faster, to be honest. Yeah, hounding Black Widow all through the technical section as well, where I think the Jag might be a little bit stronger than the Corvette through the technical section. Both all-round good cars with good engines in them though. So as we start lap 5, Berserk is closing the gap a little bit, but Reese is really stuck with him as well. So he is going to be under a little bit of pressure from Lil Sheepy's teammate here, who will want to probably disrupt Berserk as much as possible so that Sheepy can close in the gap, but he's got a job on him to actually catch Berserk, who's probably got a little bit more pace in him this season. Ooh, very late on the brakes for Reese, but actually he makes the corner beautifully and closes the gap massively to Berserk there. He might have a little run on him down through the tunnel section in the back straight. Hounding Berserk as we enter into another little tunnel section of the track. Isn't able to do anything just yet. Right, let's see what's happening a little bit further down. Stuart's managed to have a great start. He's up in P7. He's had some really good, strong results in the second half of the season. New to ALR this season as well, but he gets half a second penalty there for cutting one of the corners, which will stall his progress a little bit, but he does seem to have quite a big gap with D-Dubs behind, who JP still hasn't been able to get past since he managed to squeeze through after JP went a little bit wide through the technical section of the track. And Quackhouse has managed to get up to P10, which is great for him. He's probably going to have Marvel all over the back of him though, and Millsy had a terrible start. Remember, he started P4 on the grid and now he's down to 12th outside of the points for the sprint race. SD as well, and Cracker and Parker's all the way at the end. We saw him clatter the wall. So he's probably had a couple more trips there to be that far behind. But look at the lead that Black Widow has now. This is insane. She set a fastest lap already of a 25.7, which is quicker than many of the tiers above managed to do. Really showing championship pace here, Black Widow. She'll have a difficult, well, the rest of them will have a difficult time trying to catch up because Sheepy is probably 3 or 4 seconds behind her now. And Jin and Smithy, well, Smithy's actually all over the back of Jin here, and you can see Berserk there has caught up to this pack fully now as well, so maybe there'll be some action between P2 to P5 as the race winds on, but basically what Berserk will have to do, because he'll probably, it looks like Black Widow's going to win this race and set the fastest lap, so let me get the standings up here and see what that would do. So that would be Black Widow's 9th fastest lap, by the way, and if Berserk finishes 5th, he ends up being 3 points ahead of Black Widow as it stands. So definitely damage limitation in this race for Berserk. He'll want to overtake these three for sure, and they'll be doing everything that they can to prevent that from happening because they'll be able to close the gap. Maybe by a couple of points here and there. Each position here is worth an extra 2 points. But if you think about it, the swing is actually 4 points because Berserk will gain the 2 points that you lose. So it is really in their interest to keep it behind if they think that they can win the championship. But the other one, Black Widow, the other contender, is completely out of range now. Looks like Smithy's gonna have a little look around the outside and then slots in right behind Jin. But actually, oh, it looks like Jin was really slow on the power, and Smithy took the corner like fantastically, but didn't really account. Oh, good job, he was ghosted there as well. Didn't really account for there being the car in front going slowly, and yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. And it looks kind of like his championship challenge will be over because of that. We had JP and Quackhouse going all over, and it looks like Quackhouse came out worse, and now he's fallen outside the points. Oh dear, how unlucky. But let's rejoin the front. So that actually promotes Berserk to P4. So as it stands, Berserk is, I tell a lie, Black Widow is 1 point ahead of Berserk as it stands. So in order for Berserk to maintain the championship lead, he's got to overtake Jin and get a podium in this race. And that will set him up nicely for race 2, where he'll actually be able to start ahead of Black Widow. And well, as we know in the feature race, anything can happen with a reverse grid. Smithy's already made his way back up to P8 there, you could see further down. His pace is unreal, actually. maybe a little bit better than Jin and Sheepy from what we could see. So he could probably get himself back into the top 5 by the end of this race. We're only halfway through as it stands, 8 minutes and 14 seconds into this race. We've got a 15-minute race plus 1 extra lap. Everyone finishes the lap that they're on when that 15-minute flag falls. Oh, Jin has gifted P3 here to Berserk with that half-second penalty for corner cutting. And that is fantastic news for Berserk. He'll just probably tuck into the back of Jin's slipstream as we enter lap 7 of the race and patiently wait for the back straight where Jin will suffer that half-second penalty and sweep past him. Meanwhile, Black Widow's already at the hairpin. That's how massive her lead is. Incredibly impressive stuff. So here we go. I see just a half second off the throttle, so it's not actually a massive loss, but when you think that's half a second in the acceleration zone on a long straight, it does make it really easy for another car to overtake you, but not too many cars. Now Berserk is in P3, which means live championship standings, Berserk has a 1-point lead over Black Widow. And he'll want to catch Sheepy now. Sheepy looks like he is maybe 3 or 4 seconds ahead of Berserk right now. So Berserk will have to put in some impressive laps. Berserk was stuck behind Jin in the 28s and Lil Sheepy was in the low 27s. So as long as Lil Sheepy can keep doing that for the last 5 minutes of this race, then that P2 should look pretty safe for Sheepy. Is Jin going to have another look at Berserk here? Doesn't look like he's close enough going into the opening sector of the track. You can see Smithy's all the way up to P7 now. He's got 2 more places to get to salvage a top 5 finish. See, a little bit different use of lines there. Berserk took a much tighter line, trying to straighten the car out and just get on the throttle, whereas Jin really used all of the track, carrying probably a little bit more speed into the corner, into the hairpin, as Berserk actually goes purple in sector 1. .27.5 was Berserk's last time, and a 27.4 was Sheepy. But Sheepy, a 1:03 there. Yeah, he's definitely a lot slower this lap than Berserk is, who's setting some blistering pace, and Sheepy's got a little bit of damage here, so he must have clattered the wall in the tunnel section, and that is going to allow Berserk to really close up on him as we enter into the 9th lap of the race. Yeah, the damage is gone now. Maybe 1.5 seconds I'd say the gap is right now. You can see the, yeah. Again, Jin was taking a much wider line through that hairpin than Berserk. So we have 32.9, 33 that looked like. So yeah, they're lapping pretty similar right now. Jin's dropping a little bit back now. His tyres are in a much worse condition in that 2013 Nismo compared to Berserk ahead of him and Lil Sheepy. Meanwhile, this Corvette's just on another planet, to be honest. So this is going to be the penultimate lap that we're starting. It doesn't look like Berserk's managed to close the gap anymore here. Let's have a quick look at what's going on a bit further back. So Reese is all on his own. Smithy is at the head of a battle here. He's just overtaken D-Dubs, who actually goes really wide there, and that allows Millsy to go back through into 7th. So we saw Millsy near the back of the grid after a terrible start, starting from P4, worked his way all the way up to P7. So both of the 2018 Nismos made great progress through this field. Really showing that they have the pace there. It's just they've been a little bit unlucky today. And then we've got D-Dubs, SD, and JP rounding out the top 10. And then there's a little bit of a gap to Quackhouse in 11th, who had that little incident with JP a bit earlier on in the race. But let's see what's happening. Looks like Jin has really fallen off the back, and Berserk is super close to Sheepy. Look at that, he's almost touching Sheepy's rear bump there. It has to probably go a little bit wide on corner exit, which compromises the acceleration that he's got coming out of it, and gives Sheepy a little bit of breathing space as we enter what will be the final lap of the race. Not everyone will get into this final lap, so we'll probably see some checkered flags on the left hand of the screen. But what can Berserk do? We'll stick with Berserk for now, as Millsy crosses the line in P7. Doesn't look like he's close enough to do a challenge here, so let's just see everyone cross the line. We've got SDP8, JPP9, Quackhouse did get a point in top 10, great result for Quackhouse. D-Dubs in 11th, must have fallen back at the end there. Marvel Mags in 12th, Stewart must have had some problems, he is down in 13th after making his way through the field and being quite in the top, comfortable in the top 10. Cracker 14th, and Parker will finish 15th. And we've got Black Widow in the front here. Still setting times in the 27s, whereas everyone behind's in the 28s. We're going to keep on with this little battle up to the end, because, to be honest, Black Widow is going to cruise to victory. Sheepy's tyres, well, they both have pretty dead tyres, to be honest, but they're going to nurse them home all the way through. We've got Black Widow crossing the line in P1 to take yet another victory. Little Sheepy does hold off Berserk and gets P2, closes the gap to the championship leader by a couple of points. Berserk P3, Jin in P4, and it looks like Reese will come around for P5, and Smithy will get 6th place. Great result for Reese. That is his joint best result of the season at P5. Sheepy got his best result since round 2. And Jin's first podium in 4 attempts, so that's really good. So we've got... They're all still in with a chance, all 5 of them are still in with a chance of getting the championship still, but something really bad would have to happen to Berserk. He's got a 1-point lead over Black Widow as it stands. But yeah, join me for the next video where we'll go through the feature race.